Hello! Welcome to another Panhard episode. Sorry about the audio if you can hear the sound of the rain on the roof, but we're in the UK and this is what happens. The rest of the world's having major sort of heat waves at the moment and we're getting rain. So that's pretty normal for this time of year. Now, this is what we got up to in the last few episodes of the Panhard. So as you can see, there's everything on top and in the way. It's turned into a shelf. Lots of workshops have big, large metal shelves in them that used to be cars, and they're both mine. But we need to clear it. I've got to get it out. I've got to spin it round and I've got to put it on the ramp because today we're doing brakes. I want to get this thing to stop. Now, the club, big shout out to the club, huge help. They've sent me a big box of parts. So I've got loads of stuff here and it's all things like cylinders and boots and I don't know what's in there. I think that's actually for the Mini. Replacements for this, you know, all that type of stuff. So it's all great. However, a lot of this stuff is not actually off a Panhard. This is all stuff that will fit a Panhard with a little bit of, you know, sort of finessing. So it's going to be fun, this episode. I mean, like a puzzle without any picture on or any instructions. So yeah, I've got a lot to get on with. First though, we do need to clear everything off here and get it up in the air. I've got some work to do. Okay, so a couple of questions that I'm sure I'm going to get in the comments of this video, so I thought I would answer them preemptively. First of all, what's happening with the Mondeo? Well, I don't know is the answer. Last few weeks I've been moving house and stuff, so I've just been dead busy. I haven't really had a chance to do anything here. So the Mondeo is on ice. I'm just not entirely convinced it's going to be a worthwhile operation doing all that work. I'm still looking into it. I'm thinking about it. It's sat there. It's not gone anywhere. It might happen further down the line. What I don't want to do is just get rid of the car immediately because I do love seeing it there. So I'm thinking on it, just give me some time. There might be another tiny episode where we get it up in the air, same as we've done with some of the other cars, and gone through it and gone, right, okay, realistically, we're going to have to do this, we're going to have to, you know, and see how bad it is. Because I'm worried about the amount of welding underneath. If it's accessible welding, great. If it's all up inside rails and like some box sections that have got multiple layers and stuff, I've got enough of that going on. Don't really want to do another one. Anyway, that's the Mondeo. We'll see what happens. Next update, the Discovery hasn't broken down yet, so that's great, isn't it? And I've repaired the handbrake on it and I've put a multifunction steering wheel on it with cruise control, which doesn't work, but that'll be another video where we try and get it to work with the help of a place called Land Ranger in Ellesmere Port. Anything else? Oh yeah, the Mini's back from the detailers. That's finished. I'm staring at it right now. It's the best looking car I've ever seen in my life. There's going to be a big video on that soon. What else? That's it. Let's do some brakes. But to do that, I'm going to need to take it off these dollies. And to take it off these dollies, well, check these out. Let me introduce you to the twins. In the last Panhard episode, I said I desperately needed a new jack, and I've actually dented one of the wings on the other side because my old jack was so shite and it fell off and all this sort of stuff. So, how have I ended up with two really cool, low-profile trolley jacks? Well, I went out and bought this one because when I dented that, I was dead pissed off and I thought I'm just going to go out and buy one. So I bought this one. And then like 2 days later, I got a delivery at the workshop and it was this one here. And I thought, well, I haven't bought two, I only bought one, and it's different. And then there was a note on the side of the box, which was this. And it was from a guy from the Schrader company, which is like Schrader valves and stuff. So like amazed that someone actually sent me, after I said, if you're a millionaire, just send me a jack. Like the guy from the Schrader valve company sent me a jack. I didn't expect that, I was only joking. Semi-joking, and I got a jack, and having two really cool trolley jacks is a bit of a game changer. I used to have one of these ages ago before my crap one, and I sold it when I didn't have a workshop and stuff, and like they're quite expensive. There's like 500 quid's worth of jacks there, 400 quid's worth, so like I just never really picked one up again. It was a bit of a non-purchase, there was always something else, but now I've got two, and I'm telling you now, it is amazing. And it's going to take me 2 seconds to get these dollies off, so I'll do that, put the thing on the ramp, and yeah, we'll have a look at it brakes wise. But again, thank you very much for the jack. I must be mad thinking that I'm going to be able to get this ready for that car show in September. I mean, you know, cosmetically there isn't a lot to do, and I'm not going to fix sort of much of the rust, if any. So like, driving, isn't it? You know what I mean? Some lights and that, you know. Anyway, right. First thing, let's get this clamshell off again. See if I've mastered the one-person technique anymore since last time. If you want details on that car show as well, look in the description of the last video, and it's all there for you. Okay. Easy. Steady. I'm getting better. Oh yes, back in business. Here she is. Remember how well this fired up last time? I'm not going to try it again because there's no need. But I've got to do these brakes, man. I've got to do it. I think our first port of call is going to be the pedals because they don't work. Oh, look at that! A miracle has happened to us. I didn't really want to take the pedal box out last time I looked at this because it was a nightmare and it's just like solid in there and problems. But I covered it with loads of plus gas, best thing ever. And now, I literally just went a click then, and we now have a nice free moving pedal. And brake pedal, and the clutch pedal works as well. Clutch doesn't work though, but it's a different video altogether. Okay. I mean, essentially that's fantastic news. That means I've just got to bolt this back up in there, and then we're on to sort of master cylinder. Exciting. Now, I'm not just saying this, but genuinely, I want to use as much original stuff off this car as I can when it comes to it. What's that? Where's that from? Should that be on somewhere? Interesting. Yeah, I just want to use as much stuff as I can. And bizarrely, even though this car was sat for 45 years and is really sort of quite rusty on the body, chassis-wise and stuff, and all the other bits, it's actually really, you know, solid. It's just a bit brown. And that goes for the brake pipes as well. Maybe not front to back, but this one going down there is in really, really good nick. So I'm not going to replace it. A few people's heads probably just exploded as I said that. But I'm going to go through it, I'm going to run an airline through it, and I'm going to go around the whole pipe and I'm going to make sure it's absolutely solid. But I can see it is, and I'll show you up close, really solid. And it'd just look dead cool if that was still on there, you know. So I'm going to do it. And it saves me making one. Right, how does this go back in there? Are these the right bolts? Okay. There's like a plate behind it which is just like one big bit of metal with all the nuts in for the bolts. So another really good design. Save you having to try and find each nut individually, you know. And it should mean that everything's lined up. So there you go, that's all bolted up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one down there, I mean, that one got a little bit disintegrated. And it's one of them, isn't it? Like, why do cars have 5 bolts on the wheel? Because 4 will do. So that's fine. Move on. Next job. Okay, and the next job is this master cylinder. Right then, this is what we've got. We've got 2 master cylinders. I think this might be a refurbished one by the looks of it, but still ideal, perfect for what we need. This is the one that came off the car. I've got to get some bits off. I've got to get that off, I've got to get this junction off, and I've got to get this glass jar off. I've been soaking it inside there in plus gas for about 4 weeks, so I'm really, really hoping this thing comes off. And yeah, got to swap all the bits over. I hope this goes okay, because these bits, you know, you can't find them again. You can find replacement glass jars, but I don't think they're the same as these ones. You know, they're going to look slightly different, and I'd love it to be the same. So I think we're going to get that in there, this old one. And what do you think? We'll just start wellying on it until it comes out, you know. I wonder if it'll just twist off. No. Never going to be that easy, was it? Okay, leave that for a second. How is everybody, by the way, since I last saw you? And I'm telling you what, we've had a couple of thousand extra sort of newcomers to the channel in the last, since the Mondeo video came out. So if you've just found the wonderful world of just having a go, you know, at old cars, then welcome. And I hope you enjoy the videos, and I hope you stick around. But thanks very much for subscribing. That's very, very kind of you. And again, yeah, I hope you liked the Mondeo video. It did, you know, it's doing really well. You know, still on the hunt for the next Left 4 Dead, but there is quite a bit to do here at the moment. So I'm probably going to crack on with these for a little bit, really. Try and break the back of some of this work. There's a Tramp Spitfire over there, which we're going to be painting potentially in the next episode. But anyway, thanks very much for coming along, you know. Good of you. Right, let's get a spanner on that one first. Lefty loosey. Oh, they're both undone. Look at that. Sometimes cars want to be restored, and I'm telling you now, this car wants to be restored. Look at that. Okay, so these bits are out, and I need to clean these up and put a couple of new copper washers on them. And if you believe that, you believe anything. Right, is the thread the same at the end? I can't do it because it's got a plug in it. Oh, finally. Okay, will that go on? Oh, it's the same thread. Great. So we'll give that a clean up and we'll get that put on. But this thing, so I imagine, what do I imagine? What do I imagine? How does that come off? Is there a nut in there? Can I scrape it out with anything? What are you? Okay, and this is where the audio died. Weirdly, this has only ever happened to me twice, and it was the first time was in the other Panhard bloody video. So yeah, I'm going to do some sort of voiceover now and try and remember what was happening. There I am, I'm playing with my phone there, and I've got the brake cleaner, and I think I've just spotted the. I kind of knew there was a bolt in there anyway, because that's how most of these things are held onto master cylinders. But I'm just going to clean this now. There you go. I'm just swilling brake clean around in there, and then pouring it in the bin. It's just sustainable. Yeah. There you go, bit more spray, bit more clean, put that in there, lovely. Okay, yeah, just look at more. Okay. That doesn't grow on trees, you know. Jesus. Right, surely that's enough, isn't it? Yeah, there you go. Okay, having a look. Right, what's next? Ah, right, okay. Some sort of metal brush. Ah, I remember what I said there. I said, don't clean your teeth with that because it'll make your gums bleed. Yeah, and I'm just cleaning out where this nut was, because to get a socket on it, you've got to get it all the sides clean, because it was full of rust and crap and all sorts of pigeon poo from all those years being sat. But there you go, cleaned that out. Bit more brake cleaner. Great stuff. In the bin again. Yeah. Love that. Okay, and yeah, more scrubbing. Let's skip this part, I think. Right, can't remember exactly what I was saying there. I think I'm just trying to get a socket and stuff on it. I'm a bit concerned though. Anyway, while we're not being able to hear me, look at the t-shirt and the cap. Aren't they cool? You can buy those at the link in the description, and then I can buy more ridiculous cars and do things like this on them. Now this bit, I wish the audio had worked, because wait for it. Oh yes, look at the elation on my face. Oh yes, I'm saying, oh come on, that's what I'm saying there. And that has just come undone. 49 years that was sat at the bottom of the sea or in a shed somewhere, and now it's just undone. Look at that. And the beautiful thing about that is it'll go again. It's all complete, all there, nice, good condition. Once you've cleaned it up with a wire wheel, it'll go again. Brilliant stuff. I've just realised that the stupid microphone, stupid battery, stupid didn't work then. So I hope VoiceOver Ben has cleared that up for you. But I hope you got the joy that I was having, that everything has actually undone. So anyway, I'm going to get all this cleaned up, screw it all back together, and then we're going to mount it into the car, and we'll see, you know, what it looks like. This is a work of art. Look at that. Totally maintains its originality, that, doesn't it? Look at the nice Lockheed thing. Now I've just sort of nipped everything up, cleaned everything up, ready to put brake fluid in, polish this brass bit up here. I'm interested to know what this is. If you're watching from the club, what is this? I've got a feeling it is a pressure brake pedal switch, if that makes sense. But I don't know what it is. I can't imagine it's like a low level or anything like that. So is that your brake pedal, you know, brake light switch? If so, let me know, because I'm going to have to find the wires from somewhere. What do I do now then? Why don't the brakes still work? Well, there's all the rest of the stuff, isn't there? I need to have a look at these brake pipes, get a little bit of sandpaper and just go over them and just make sure they're not sort of pitted or anything, and make sure they're nice and solid underneath the dirt. and surface rust, and then find out where they go, and then we will arrive at the flexi pipes. And this is where we have a problem. They're the only part that I just can't get. So I've got a couple of options. Option A is that these still work. Option B is that we go to an online company that makes brake pipes. I send them a brake pipe and I say, can you make me 2 of those? You know, the flexi pipes. So that is option B if these ones don't work, or if they're not going to work. It's not looking massively hopeful, but we're just going to stick an airline down them, bit of brake cleaner and stuff, and see what happens, because yeah, parts not available, so we've got to do what we've got to do. But anyway, let's have a little gander. So you at a junction there. Ah, right. I did think this one went to the other side of the car, but this one goes goes to the back. Okay, up in the air. Here we are underneath this absolutely mint condition Panhard. Oh look, there's inside you inside the car now, and now you're underneath it. Cool. You've got 2 pipes. Dos Bipolo. One of them is the brake pipe, which we were just playing with then, which is this one here, and this other one is the fuel pipe, which goes to the tank at the back, which is this thing here. And that, again, a real sort of whole, you know, different story there. I imagine that's rotten as a peach inside, but anyway, we'll worry about that another day. This brake pipe though, I mean, yeah, it's shot. It needs to be replaced. Where does it go? It goes over the top there, around there. Quite accessible. Oh, look at that there. What is it? Close. It's just... Anyway, yeah, okay. So that goes to this bit here. And then it's a flexi, which is a bit annoying, all the way to this box here, this little junction box. Now, I'm told the parts in my box over there are, I'm going to have to change the fitting type on the end. So these brake pipes we're going to do anyway. This flexi though, again, I just ain't got one. You know? I mean, what's it like inside it? Has the rubber saved it? Is it going to blow up straight away? I don't know. I mean, I'm still looking, there's still a chance, but, you know, just for the sake of maybe getting the brakes to work on this at least, it could be okay. And we can revisit it once the rest of the system's all good. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty grim. So first thing I'm going to do is try and take this brake pipe off in its entirety, and then we'll look at the fittings and we'll look at what we've got in stock. That's just been soaking in plus gas for a little bit now, and let's just snip this pipe off. Lots of things falling down my neck. Right, I want to try and sort of maintain this bit here and not sort of rip anything to pieces, so let's hope that this thing undoes. If not, I have got a bit of fire over there we can put at it, and hopefully it'll allow its release. Oh, no way. Come on. I'm telling you, French cars, the best. That fitting has just... Ooh. Not only is that fitting just unscrewed, but there is fluid in there of some description, so it doesn't look too rusty, which is the best news you'll ever hear. And the reason is, if there's fluid in there and it's not too rusty, then hopefully the inside of this, the inside of that, is going to be good, and then we can just screw something straight into it. Amazing. Okay, right, let's get this brake pipe out and on the floor. This is one long brake pipe. Now, in the car, it kind of looks something like that, I think. I don't know, because that snapped off. So I've got to look into making one of these now, and I'm thinking I'm going to make it in 2 halves maybe, so we can sort of mount it a bit easier, because getting it in and out of the right place on there was difficult, and obviously it snapped this. So but you can see how, you know, the top bit there was really nice. So I'm hoping those other two are good, but yeah, the underneath bit pretty dead. Right, I'm going to get my thinking cap on and see what I come up with. There you go. For you that was about half a second, and for me that was about an hour. Now, the reason being, first of all, I couldn't cut it into sort of 2 pieces, so we're going to have to fit it as one, and that is because I haven't got the fittings for this. This is 6mm brake pipe. Most normal brake pipe is a smaller brake pipe. 6mm is for use on stuff like American cars or like aeroplanes or cathedrals, that sort of stuff. Whereas, and old cars, which is obviously why it was on the Panhard. Now, I've had to use the old fittings, which should be okay, fingers crossed. And, you know, it should all go back together fairly okay. I'm not convinced in the ends, because I haven't got the right tool, if you like, to make the same end, but this is as close as I can get, so fingers crossed this is going to work. I've just got to manhandle this back into the car now and then sort of screw it up, and then, you know, I can bend it into some sort of shape. Annoyingly, it's 6mm as well. I have a brake pipe straightener, but it only works for the smaller brake pipe. It doesn't work for the big chunky 6mm, so it's not going to look great, but a lot of it you won't be able to see anyway. Right, okay, so bolt it on. I've fed a lot of that underneath the car, and this is what I've got left here. Don't know why it looks like this. It looked so perfect before. Where's the other bit? What was it supposed to do? That's what it looked like before. So it went under like that. So that goes there. Nice, nice, nice. And then a bit more under there, I feel. Oh, that was successful. Pull that through there. As easy as that. Yeah, it looks alright. What are you worrying about? Why won't this screw in now? Home. Fairly big progress then so far. So the front to back big brake pipe is done. That's on. These 2 brake pipes are on. That one only goes there. It's only about that long. It's fine. That one only goes there, about that long, and it's fine. All the fittings and everything are good, so I've bolted them back on. It's all ready to go. I've also found 2 wires here, maybe for that brake light switch, if that's what it is. Right, what we need to do now is get to the wheels side of things. So if you remember back to the 2nd episode or 1st episode of the Panhard, when I was trying to get this thing moving under its own steam, which it did, it involved taking this brake apart because it was seized solid, and I kept all the bits for it in that box there. So I'm now going to try and rebuild it, but all sort of like greased up and stuff, so it works as a brake. So that drum looked okay, but I'll give it a bit of a wire brush inside. Now, what are we dealing with here? Well, borderline spooky wheel bearings. They're nicer than most new wheel bearings I've ever felt. Really good. And we've got a cylinder connected to this flexi, which again I'm hoping is in good nick, because if it's not, screwed. So I've got to undo this, take this blown and like weirdly sort of gummy brake cylinder off, put a new one on, put all that back together, match on the other side, put the wheel back on, and that's that sorted. And hopefully all we'll have to do is fill it with fluid and do the bleed nipple, and we might get brakes once we've done the back and the other side. So I'm going to get cracking with that. I've just started wire brushing and stuff, and look at this, look how cool it is. I might not have to take this flexi pipe off at all. It's just going to be this big one, sort of, is it a banjo nut here, banjo bolt, going into the brake cylinder. So I'm going to get the other one and we'll sort of compare it, and then a couple of bolts there look like it's holding it in place. But it's amazing how well everything comes up just with a little bit of a wire brush, isn't it? It was going far too well, wasn't it? First problem that could be a problem. Flexi pipe with that end on it doesn't go into new wheel cylinder, okay? Does not screw in. So I'd need like a big to little adapter. Okay, do they exist? I need to have a look. This banjo bolt layout type thing that this had here, so it was like that. This is the old one here, this is the new one, and that is a completely different size to that. Not much different, but different enough for it to not work. So I don't really know what to do. The best case scenario is there's a little adapter, big to little. Great. I'm going to have a word with Jim Barrows tomorrow, see what they say. Other option, I've never done this before, so I'd have to have a bit of a sort of look tonight, bit of a research. Can I rebuild this wheel cylinder with the parts from this wheel cylinder? Because everything else is the same on this wheel cylinder, size-wise and everything. So there's my two options. The ideal scenario is that we don't rebuild it and we use the brand new one, so it's all nice and good, and we just put an adapter in there. The only other option I can think is to get this flexi pipe off, take the flexi pipe to Jim Barrows and see if they've got a flexi pipe with that end on it and that end on the car. I mean, the chances of that is going to be pretty, hard to get. And also they're going to go, what's the reg? And I'm going to go, I don't know, mate, I'm just making this up as I go along, and they're going to go, well, I can't help you. So, because they've probably got about 1,000 brake pipes for us to look through. Right, so that's going to do us for day one. I need to sort of get my head into what we're going to do here, do a bit of research tonight, consult the owners club as well, because he sent me an email with what I need to do brakes wise, so I need to have a look, see if he mentioned anything on there. Speak to Jim Barrows, see if they've got a different thing, and yeah, go from there. But I'll see you in about 5 seconds. It's actually, hang on, it's actually about 40 minutes later. I thought I need to get this flexi pipe off because they're not going to understand what I'm talking about. Look how specific this flexi pipe is as well. It's just not something, that took so long to get off. It's absolutely seized on, that bolt on there, and it's so hard to get things off and keep them in one piece and usable again. But I think this flexi is all right. Just blown it through with a airline and it's free as a bird. So I need to go from that end there to that end there. So I've got to go and see our Barrow tomorrow, and if I say, go on, help, might be able to do it. It's going to be easier doing it that way than trying to explain it with measurements and, you know, doing all this stuff like M10s and things. It kind of, you know, it's better to just go like, make this go in there. Okay, see you in a few seconds. It's like midday on day 2 of the brakes on the Panhard, and it's not going exactly how I would have liked. All the brake fittings in the world are not going to do the job. Nothing is right. Now, the problem we've got, right, keep up with this, it's important, there'll be a test on it on the end, at the end. This is our hard line which we're keeping, which is in good nick. That's going to go from the master cylinder down into the wheel arch where we were yesterday, and we were trying to get the master cylinder to fit, which it doesn't. So that thing goes onto there like that, lovely, okay, and then that goes into the master cylinder, right? So my initial thing was put a connector on there and put it into the master cylinder. Can't get a hold of one of those. Anyway, not that that matters. So this pipe has collapsed. Annoying. So I thought, right, okay, we might as well get new flexis for the whole car. Braided ones can be made in a place in Stoke On Trent where everything good happens to do with classic cars. Stoke On Trent is the place. If you ever need anything, just go and see a man in a shed in Stoke On Trent and he will sort you out. So I've got everything together. That's the flexi off the rear, because we might as well get one of those while we're there. This is a flexi off the front, so I'm going to need 2 of those. And I'm hoping, I've just spoken to him on the phone, and he's going to be able to recreate that bit, not this outside bit, so we'll have to attach it another way, but this inside bit onto a braided hose and onto a different connection there that will fit my new brake cylinder. That's the idea. So I'm going to wash my hands, jump in the Discovery, and we've got probably a 3 or 4 hour trip, including the waiting time for these to be done ahead of us. And then, yeah, that might work. And then we can go on to rebuilding all the shoes and stuff. So, yeah, lots of hours in this, you know. This is where, like, you know, in America or something, they'll be like, right, I'm just going to O'Reilly's and pick up a new set of brake pipes. Because all the cars in America use the same things, you know, they don't have like French cars doing exactly what they want with weird brake pipes and stuff, you know. So it's a bit more difficult than, you know, you might see on some other places. Anyway, right, clean my hands, hit the road. This car, this Panhard, will go to the ball, like, it has to, you know. It's a bit of a ball ache, or, you know, having to, it is a puzzle with no picture on it, you know. You're just going to try and make pieces connect somehow, and then when they don't, you've got to sort of cut them into new shapes and all that sort of stuff. But it's okay, we're gonna make it go, you know. Once these jobs are done, once the sort of basic running, driving, starting, stopping, steering, braking, you know, all this good stuff, lights, you know, once all that's done, the rest of it's just cosmetic, and you can do that with anything. So yeah, let's just get these bits boxed off there, you know. Anyway, I'm about 40 minutes from Stoke On Trent, so hopefully the man in the shed is going to make me happy, but we will see. I'm back, hopefully half a day well spent. I went to an amazing place. Look at this place now that I'm showing you. Just the coolest thing. I know this might sound weird, but this is my statement, okay? The world needs to be more like Stoke On Trent. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it just, bloke in that place, we got stuck into it. We're like, right, this is the problem. We've got to go from this old style to new style. We've got to go from 6mm to, you know, all this stuff. Nightmare. But we potentially got the solution. So showed him all my stuff, and I was like, look, this is one for the rear, this is one for the front. And he said, right, okay. So he made me two of these, right? Now, He's even put banjos on them so they can go at a nice angle. Do you remember how they were in the front? And then this connection here, so this is your flexible brake pipe, which will go to this wheel cylinder. And then this connection here will go to this big pipe, which is great. Unfortunately, that flare is wrong for that fitting. Annoying. So he sold me some more 6mm pipe and showed me the type of flare that needs, so I can flare this pipe, replace the two front ones, one small one and then this one, with new pipe with a different flare on it, but the same flare on one end, and we'll reuse these. It all has to be like this so we can keep that original master cylinder, because the master cylinder is quite an important thing. Changing that would be probably a bit harder, and I'd lose my glass top, I'd lose that potential sort of brake switch, if that's what it is. Remember, let me know in the comments. All that sort of stuff. So in order to keep that, this is why everything's a little bit of a problem. Otherwise you just metric the whole thing, but we can't. We need to sort of try and maintain as much originality as possible. So we're going to make a couple of new brake pipes, and then we're going to be able to get to the front brakes. But what about the back brakes? Well, so we need to go to new wheel cylinders. We've got to get into this. I've not even looked, I should have looked at the back before I left, but I didn't like to live on the edge, you know. Now, we're going to go from the pipe that I made yesterday, the massive long one that goes all the way to the back. I'm going to have to take that out again, which is really annoying, but I've got no other way around it, and redo the same, you know, press the thing, redo that, what I just said then, into these pipes, this flexi for the back, and then he's given me a new T-junction. So we'll get rid of the old one and we'll use this metric T-junction with a couple of these fittings. And these fittings will use normal size brake pipe, which I've got about 1,000,000 miles of, and that's going to go into the new rear wheel cylinders. That's the idea. And I should have, fingers crossed, enough of these, maybe not that one, okay. He gave me some of the fittings. Nope. Don't drop it. These fittings. Why is this not working? Why is that not going in there? It's the same thread, isn't it? What is wrong? Not sure why that's not going in there, but I've got other fittings. We can have a look into that. But yeah, those pipes into there, so we should have a full braking system once I found out why that's not working. Anyway, we'll put all that together, we'll worry about the back brakes afterwards. I'm going to start screwing it on now. All this is going to take me absolutely ages, so what I might do is cue the music. Save my soul.
Downtown, went up, downtown, went up, downtown. I want to save my soul. Went up, downtown. my soul. Oh, chop, save my soul. Pop, save my soul. Pop, save my soul. Pop, save my soul. Oh, chop, save my soul. Pop, save my soul. Pop, save my soul. Pop, save my soul. Oh, chop, save my soul. Pop, save my soul. Save my soul. Pop, save my soul. Pop, save my soul. Pop, save my soul. Went up downtown. I went up downtown. Went up downtown. I was walking out one evening late. Moon was rising high. Headed for the riverside. Around us fuss and fight.
Crikey! So there we go then. It's about 6 o'clock on day 2. Lots of like driving around and messing about and stuff, so you lose a lot of actual time where you're actually doing the stuff. But anyway, the back of the job is broken, I'm happy to report. Let's have a little look at what we've done. All the brakes are now back together with wheel cylinder newydd, wheel cylinder in Welsh, into these lovely flexi pipes on a banjo there, and they go up to new brake pipe. I've got to find a way of holding that all in there. No doubt it'll involve industry standard cable ties, and then that goes up to our sort of well nice fully refurbed master cylinder, which looks absolutely gorgeous. So really pleased with that. This side, the brake that was not working, that's been completely rebuilt. Everything's working nicely there. Wheel cylinders on, and we've got the same again. New flexi up to the new brake pipe there, which is cool. Tomorrow we have to remove the brake pipe that I did front to back there, and then redo that bit at the end. Put the wheels back on, take these wheels off, put the new cylinders on these, and then make new brake hoses to replace these, and then replace this thing here, but replacing them in the sort of standard brake pipe size. So excited about that. What's that thing there? No idea what that is. Very strange. Looks like an earth or something. Anyway, end of day 2. See you in a few seconds. Day 3. It's day 3, and the mess in here is bad, but we're getting there. Let me show you this cool little thing that I did this morning, what I dreamt of last night. So these brake lines went through this thing here and they were fixed on there. Now it's just at a wrong angle. I've got no fittings on here or anything to be able to secure them, so I put them in these super tight rubber bungs, which took me a while to do, and I had to drill this out a little bit more, and that is solid enough for me, you know. I'll just keep my eye on it and make sure everything's okay, but they are now good as gold. So it's time to put the wheels on. I've just wire brushed these things to make sure they're as clean as possible. Yeah, so I'm going to get those on, and then we can start the other stuff. Right, how did I think I might have adjusted that to the max outwards position. So I need to adjust it to the max inwards position. And these are a little bit funny as well, because there's an adjuster for each shoe. So it's not just one adjuster for the whole lot. So you have to think when I do it, which is annoying, isn't it? I don't like thinking. Okay, hopefully this is just going to slot on and spin around. How can you tell when it's on though? Is that it? I've adjusted those all the way in, so it should just spin round with a bit of effort, like. Not that much effort. It's evident I need to have a little bit of a play with this, so let me come back to you. So this side is on, and that seems to be working absolutely fine. So everything does work, it's just something's out of whack over there, or it's that drum, which is a little bit more corroded than the others. Right, okay, this is fine, this is fine. Let me have more of a play with the other one, see if I can get it to work. My other concern as well though, is there's a little, the bleed nipple is right up against the rim of this back of the drum. So I'm hoping we can get a socket or something on there, or a spanner underneath, but that's going to be fiddly to bleed. Right, okay, adjustment. It's on and it's moving more than it was. I've got the feeling this is going to do what I would call self-adjust. Do you know what I mean? Once it's all bolted up and stuff, so I'm going to leave that. I'm not going to bolt it up or anything for now, but it is spinning. And I reckon a little bit of a scouse service will get that going properly, you know. In an ideal world, I'd like it could have been turned on something, you know, and skimmed essentially, because there's a couple of areas of corrosion on it which I think is just making it a bit bigger than the other drum. But yeah, it's okay. The only other thing is the wheel cylinder might be out slightly more than the other one, so it's not allowing it to go all the way home, but we just have to make do with what we've got. I'm not going to take these drums off down for any sort of work, especially because of the way they look. They'll probably look at them and go, can't do that, mate. What's that off? Submarine? Bad choice of words again, sorry. Right, okay. Front done, let's crack on with the rest. All that hard work yesterday, or the day before, getting this big brake pipe in there. It's now going to come out again, so I can redo the end to make the back brakes work. I don't even need back brakes anyway, you should just cap it off, just leave it. Roll, don't they? No, reset. Right, you come up there please. Get off the thing. Ahaha! Fucking wires. This brake pipe just hooked under the leg of the tripod and pulled it over. Please. So close. Okay. Well, right. Take this back over to the bench, redo this end with the new flare, put it back in again. Great. That was a bit of a faff, and it's now not quite as nice as it was, but we've gone from a convex to concave on the flare, so it will now fit this whole new setup, which I've now got to get my head into. And this has got to be changed, these have got to be changed, so I think let's do that first. Let's take it all off, get the brake pipes off, and then we'll get the wheels off and we'll have a look at the wheel cylinders and hope that we've got everything to make it go, you know. I can only really apologise about sort of how boring this episode is, but it's hard to make brakes interesting, isn't it? I mean, it is just generally quite a dirty, faffy job with lots of, well, just bolting and unbolting and doing the same thing over and over again. So there's probably something else on you could watch, I'm sure. That looks all right though, doesn't it? And thankfully there's only one hole in that as well, so it should actually mount nicely on there, which would be cool. Is it important? I think it's just earthing the rear beam to the body. So yeah, probably it's important. I don't know what for though. There's no electrics in the wheels. Tyre pressure monitoring system? Don't think so. What am I going to do with this exhaust as well? Straight through piping it. It's got to be just straight through all the way. Bit of old scaffolding tube or something it'll do. Maybe some real exhaust pipe. All the way, straight from there, dead easy. Let people know that we're approaching. Do you know what I mean? Oh, we're out. Okay, I'll leave that in there. We'll still be able to make that earthwork. Incredible condition as well, really. The impressive thing as well is that so far, I mean, touch wood, we've had no snap bolts or anything on this, apart from a couple of little chewy ones. But like when I've worked on other stuff like Japanese cars and things, every other bolt snaps, and these are just like, yeah, fine, yeah, we've been sat for 49 years in bird shit, but we will undo. Cool. Look at all that remarkably clear looking brake fluid that just came out of there then when I released the pressure on that cylinder. I wonder if those cylinders would have still, I wonder if we'd have just connected that to that, if the whole system would have still worked. It probably would, because their pipes aren't in that bad nick. But I'm cutting them off because we got, you know, got all the stuff, so let's just do it, you know. And when you cut them off, it's easier for get a socket on instead of a spanner. Right, look at all that brake fluid. Oh man. I am surprised, and it's not even a bad colour. Oh my good lord, it's just coming all over the floor. Right, that's what we've got to make a new one of, so we'll leave that there. Get these ends off. Right then, what's behind door number 1? The reason I've left the wheel on as well, and I'm not just taking the drum off, is because I can hit this, because it's steel, whereas this I think is aluminium, so I don't want to hit it. Do you know what I mean? Because it might smash it to bits. It's so close. It's almost there. Oh, oh, finally. Oh, that drum's okay. And all that in there looks fine. That cylinder looks alright as well, I bet. Probably doesn't even need changing. No, it probably does. But nice, they're all okay. Next thing I want to do, free off these adjusters so we can pull these apart nicely and hopefully get the new cylinder in, which would be good. I've got the other side off and I'm getting everything prepared. That's all in place and stuff, and the flexi pipe there ready for changing of cylinders. Now the back of that cylinder looks very similar, great. Front though is nothing like it. It's much too big. It's never going to get in that set of shoes, essentially. It's just miles away. So they're the wrong rear wheel cylinders, or they're just not going to work. Puzzle without any pictures, I keep saying. So we're going to have to, for now, because I need to get this video wrapped up today, is we're going to see if these cylinders go again, just for a bit of fun, more than anything. But we'll see if they go, and what I'll do in the meantime is I will try and find some more cylinders that will work on the back. But these things happen, you know, it's all okay. And part of me is interested to know if these rear wheel cylinders will work and not blow stuff everywhere, because they were full of brake fluid. Bizarre. Right, okay, so I'm going to make 2 new brake pipes now out of normal size stuff. They're going to go into those, and then that's the braking system complete, and we will put juice in it and check for some leaks. There we are then. Brake pipe newydd, brake pipe new in Welsh. Lovely job. So, it is fluid time. There's only 3 types of fluid in this car: petrol, oil and brake fluid. There's nothing else. Maybe windscreen washer fluid and quite a lot of blood, sweat and tears, but we are ready to put brake fluid in. So let's drop it down on the floor, put some in, and then I'm just going to go around and we're just going to look for leaks, and then we're going to lightly press the pedal and see if these move, and then crack all the bleed nipples off. Hopefully these 2 bleed nipples will come to the party, and yeah, see if we can, you know, if we can bleed it up so we get a really good pedal. That'd be amazing. I mean, I'm not entirely convinced because of this weak spot here, but we can only try, can't we? Right, let's go. If I could be worried about any connection at all, it's probably going to be that one there, because that was one that I've taken on and off 4 times. So I don't know how well that's going to seal now, but let's find out. We're using this .4 fully sympathetic brake fluid, and we're hoping it's going to be sympathetic. Squeaky clean. I'm also interested to know if this seal and everything around the bottom of there is good. Nervous. Let's try not to spill any. Oh, spilled loads already. Looks so cool, doesn't it? Right. Let's crack some bleed nipples and see if we can watch this slowly go through all the pipes. That's higher than that though, so I don't know how, I think we've got to push the fluid through that, but I wonder if my easy bleed will fit on that glass jar as well. Surely not. This glass jar that was made in 1823 and this easy bleed that was made last week have mated up together beautifully. That is insane. Do I just go for this? Essentially topping this up with brake fluid and then putting some pressure into it. There is a tiny amount of pressure in that now. Not loads, but a little bit. Let's give it another pump. Nerve-wracking. Right, let's have a look at some bleed nipples. Crikey, so far we've had one leak, and it was this union here which had sheared off inside it. Bizarre, probably did it a little bit too tight. So I had to take that brake line off and redo it, which is why it's all a bit squirrely, because I had to do it quickly. I bled that brake up though. This brake is bled. We need to move on to this one now. Yes, we've not had any sort of serious pressure through here yet. It's just been what's in that bottle. Obviously the pressure coming from your foot is a lot more. But look at these air bubbles coming through. I just hope that they don't explode straight away and you know, explode in such a big way that we completely lose pedal, because then I can't do anything until we've got new master brake cylinders. It's pushing these big bubbles through. There's a lot of air in there. And this big one, potentially the last one. And we'll try and get to the fronts, because they're a little bit awkward. Oh, another bubble. Can't believe the easy bleed fits this car. That's pretty special. Didn't fit the Scimitar, did it? Do you remember? Let's see what its brake pedal does. It's in the up position. Little air bubble. That feels like a solid brake. Have I done something good again? It's like 3 times I've done something good now. The Panhard has brakes. I mean, I think it's got a brake pedal anyway. Feels really good. So I need to have a bit of a tidy up, put all the wheels back on, put everything back together, and then we'll have a proper look at it. Maybe see if I can roll it and hit the brakes. And super exciting. That's all work though. We still need to, you know, make sure the rear wheel cylinders don't explode, but we'll just have to keep our eyes on that. No movement from them so far, but we'll see, you know. Right, more work. Cool. Check this out. I don't know if you can see there, but look. I've got a throttle pedal. Yes! Just a bit of grease, a bit of plus gas, fine. Right then, we've still got brake. Got brake. I feel like just putting some fuel on it and running it, see if we can get it into gear, use the brake, see if we can try and slow the front down. That's how we'll know it's working, you know? Ignition. makes a few cranks to the key, but that's the first time it's been started since you last saw it, which was like maybe 2 months ago, 6 weeks. Just remembered that I haven't got a clutch though, so I'm going to need to start it in gear. So I'll let it warm up for a bit first and then we'll start it up again. In gear. Inverse. That was a success. Come on! Right, that'll do. Fantastic. So what we've gathered from that is that the brakes work. Having a good old leak. I can't find a carburetor kit for this one. I can find one, but it's from some website in France. I'm going to try again tonight, but it doesn't work when you're trying to post to the UK. So, bit of a pain. But it'll be fine. I've got a fire extinguisher somewhere, have I? There's a tap over there. Anyway, I'm pretty excited, to be honest. I'm pretty happy. We have functioning brakes on the Panhard, which was, you've got to think really, one of the biggest headaches that I had with this car, because none of it sort of worked, you know, none of it matched up. Everything was different, but it's there now. we've got a good running engine, got good brakes, clutch is still stuck. I'd like to have taken it for a little test drive then, but the clutch is stuck, so I can't do that really. I could, but you know, it's not push our luck here, you know. So I'm gonna ask Rob to come and help me for that, because it's going to be a two-person job, I think. One to film and one to do something stupid. Right, what about the back brakes though? Do they work? Right, this wheel's spinning. So what I like, because I've checked front ones work, because I can do that with the engine running. But if you could jump in there or do it with your hand, door does open. Just got to push that button right in. And then, yeah, press the brake. Ignore that bit of wood on the clutch, that's for something else. So as hard as you can on the brakes. You might need foot power, like.
I think I have to get in it.
Is that possible? Sorry, mate. I've just been in it, it's dead nicely then.
There's nothing working but I can, mate. This is clean.
Have you been up in the attic or something, yeah?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Right, hold that there. All the way down. Oh, yeah, all the way down.
This is hard as anything, this.
Yes, good brake. And off.
Oh,
And on. Fucking hell, right. That one's amazing. This one, not so much. Probably needs a bit of.
I'm not on that. I'm not touching it.
Right, go on, all the way down. Yeah, the other one's spot on. Right, let's have a look at this other one. These I'm using the wheel cylinders that are, fucking God knows how old, but old. Right, so this wheel turns. Go on, Dickie, brakes. Off. On. So that wheel cylinder, despite being a million years old, is working and I can't see any leaks. So that's fucking brilliant news. Right, that's free, and then brake. Solid, right. And this one we know. Are you on?
No.
Can you turn the wheel that way? Bit more. There you go. Ah, so I'm still in gear, isn't it? And that one's... Right, so... Spinning the engine round, easy. Hit the brakes. Solid. Cheers, mate. Success. Well, there we are then. Nothing particularly exciting happened in this episode. I apologise. But we've got brakes on the Panhard, which is a massive step forward in this thing getting anywhere near a road. So I'm super happy. That one over there doesn't seem to be working very well, but I'm sure it'll come round. I will have a look for a couple of new cylinders as well, because it should just be a nice easy job of bolting them on when it comes to it. But I'm dead happy. And just to hear it run again as well, that's great, knowing that everything's still working that I did. So yeah, next job on this has got to be that clutch. We've got to sort the clutch out. I've just covered it in a load of plus gas and I've wedged the pedal fully down, so you never know, next time we come in and fire it up it might spring itself loose again, which would be the dream, wouldn't it? But the worst case scenario here is having to take the gearbox off the engine. And if I've got to do that, what I'm more worried than anything about is destroying the clutch. So fingers crossed it just comes apart on its own. And yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. If you've enjoyed it, you're mad. But if you have, give me a subscribe, give me a like, and I'll see you in the next episode, which should be a bit more exciting because hopefully we'll be getting it out of here and driving it properly with all 3 pedals. But it's exciting to have 2 pedals, accelerator and brake. That's really cool. Great to feel those, and they feel really good. So yeah, see you next time. Bye.